Something I wanted to talk to you about is the deficient and the excessive characteristics in the base chakra, because when we're deficient, we experience that heightened sense of anxiety, that restlessness, that fear, and we lack that discipline and that connection to the earth, and we end up having trouble manifesting abundance, usually because of a poverty consciousness. And when we're excessive, we can be quite greedy or materialistic or prone to being a workaholic. Do any of these qualities show up for you? And if so, how do you deal with them?
Yeah, certainly. I think for each of the chakras, it's a constant interplay of clearing and noticing some excess or some deficiency. What I do notice in the business is any time, and this is in every single instance, any time that I make a decision to put something out purely for financial reasons, it goes badly. There's no space in my business for making decisions on that basis. The universe just doesn't support.
I love that.
Support it.
Yeah.
But every time I put something out as a soul offering, as something that has been guided through intuition, and which, as you said, with this chakra balancing course for you, when I trust the divine timing of that, it always works well. The money always flows with it, and everything just works really, really beautifully. And so I get, and that's one of the beautiful things about being business owner, you get an immediate reflection back as to whether things are working or not.
Yeah.
So that I have noticed over the years. And I think for myself, when I reflect back, almost the entirety of last year was almost a year. It was almost a year of getting everything, all the foundations really nice and clear and clean. And so I spent the year doing two things primarily, aside from, running the business and actually offering services and so forth.
And being a mum.
And I was looking at the finances of it, because even though I was reasonably comfortable, I noticed that I wasn't always looking at the finances as closely as I could, because there was this slight fear of what I see there. And so I wasn't fully owning and managing the finances in the way that is healthy. And so I spent the year, and I continue, I'm still doing that now, is really looking at what are the best systems in place, how can I really support the money flowing by creating streams, really, rather than it being about, here's this little bit, and now that's, and not really, and just kind of closing the eyes and hoping, it'll sort itself out, which is what I had done for a while in the business. Actually, I'd been so busy working on everything else, and money had flowed, but I knew it was time to take it to a new level. And so I spent a good bit of time kind of really clearing out any fears about my capacity to manage my money well, any old stories about dependency on others, or having other people, males and so forth, look after me, or because I'd grown up with a father who basically is a beautiful man who, I wanted something, he basically gave it to me, bought it for me, as did my mum, generous woman. So whilst that was on the one hand to grow up in, it didn't necessarily teach me good money skills. So that was my kind of learning for last year.
I love that.
Yeah, and then I definitely notice I'm so aware of the energy that comes off screens, for example, that if I've sat in front of the computer too long, I can feel it in my whole body. And so if let's say I still have to work with some clients or something that afternoon, I will deliberately move from what is quite a big computer screen to a smaller laptop, or I might even sometimes just talk on the telephone, just to give myself less of that coming at me. So that's how I manage things as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love your story as well about learning to manage your money. I had a similar story as you. I had a really generous mum and dad that didn't necessarily earn a lot of money, migrant workers that had a very hard work ethic, which I very willingly inherited. And so when I started working for myself, the real edit that I had to make to my story was about money. Because I went from being the daughter of two immigrant workers who said, "Oh, so you don't need a lot of money, you can grow our own vegetables, it's going to be fine," to then choosing a career in social work that is renowned for its deplorable pay, and then deciding to become a yoga teacher, where the story was, it's not spiritual to have a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money. Just meditate. And then this whole concept of do what you love for a living and it'll all come. It's like, yeah, no, there's a little bit more to that. And I believe that the essence of money, the way we think of abundance and our entitlement is huge. Because obviously when a chakra is deficient, we have that poverty consciousness. And when it's excessive, we have that materialism. And neither is balanced, because when we come into that state of balance, we come into that state where we can say, you know what, thank you so much, but this isn't right for me. Versus, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this opportunity, so I better say yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much more relaxing, isn't it?
And easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a very similar background in the sense of, my parents were comfortable, but they certainly weren't, rich people, but they made their money through working very hard. Yes. My dad particularly, and that was definitely the message I got, that you can make your life as comfortable as you want, but you're going to work for it.
Yep.
And that's how you're going to get the recognition, and that's how you're going to build what you want for your family, et cetera, et cetera. So that took a long time to unravel that one.
I hear you, sister.